Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. If you are new, I'm Lucy. Thanks for coming along and spending some time with me today. It's really windy today, and I just sat down to film and realised I can hear like a creaking noise from the roof. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, hopefully it's not too distracting, hopefully you can't even hear it, but I can hear it, so I'm guessing that you probably can too. We'll just have to carry on and hope that that doesn't mean the ceiling's gonna fall down. Today I thought I'd stop by, sit down, have a little chat, have a little catch up. I didn't manage to do a currently video for August because there was all sorts of other stuff going on, and I thought it'd be nice to kind of check in and catch up with how things are for us at the moment. Things have changed a lot since the last time. I mean, the season changed for a start, life changed quite a lot. Last time I sat down and did a sort of chatty video, we were not like in the throes of lockdown, but we were still kind of keeping ourselves to ourselves as much as possible. But the kids are back at school now, and then recently different regulations have come in and they're kind of tightening things back up again. So I feel like this is going to be the story of our lives for a while. But I thought I'd stop in, have a catch up. If you haven't seen one of these currently videos before, I kind of fly through a variety of topics and talk about different things that have been going on for us, and more specifically for me, over the past month or so. So let's get talking about how September has been. I mean, how is September nearly over already? I feel like September always really flies, but this year has definitely been crazier, I think, because this September has been felt like a much bigger change than normal. So it does seem to have kind of flown by even faster, and the idea that it's going to be October soon is crazy to me. I was gonna say, where has this year gone? I think this year kind of got sucked into the black hole, didn't it? And I don't think anybody will be sad if 2020 got sucked into a black hole forever, really. But when it comes to my currently topics, the first one is reading, and I have mainly been reading school emails. Anyone else with school-age kids? Are you feeling my pain? I had kind of forgotten how much they feel they need to communicate. I don't actually think that our school are really bad about over communicating. It's just that all of a sudden it's emails that you know that you need to read and digest the information, and you probably need to action it as well. And I feel like after kind of effectively 6 months off of that, it feels like quite a change. And for a while there, we were also getting emails for all notifications of any children that have been sent home with COVID symptoms, so any potential COVID cases at school. So I've got 3 kids at school now, so I was getting those emails a lot. School have since changed their tact and they're now not going to send them home until somebody is actually positive, which is probably a good thing, or I would have been getting those emails multiple times a day. When it comes to planning, I am trying to sort of get back in the swing of planning out my time a bit more. So my time has not really been my own for months now, really. I guess most people's similar. My time was all about kind of homeschool and trying to run the house, keep the kids quiet so that my husband could work, and get on with like the school set tasks. And then once we finished homeschool, it was keeping the kids entertained for the summer holidays when our normal assortment of activities that we would have done weren't available to us. So for the last 6 months, my whole world has kind of revolved around just trying to keep 4 little children happy. And while my life still does revolve around keeping 4 little children happy, I now have 3 of those children out of the house for like 6 and a bit hours of the day, all week long. And I'm trying to plan out my time a bit more. That kind of means I'm trying to get back in the swing of kind of how I managed all of our housework and chores and stuff, because I feel like I've kind of forgotten how I used to manage all of that and when I used to do what. So I'm trying to sort of get that back sorted, and my content on here has been a bit sort of ad hoc while the kids have been off, so I'm trying to get back into a plan of action and what I'm going to share when and all that sort of thing. So basically my whole life is planning at the moment. I'm trying to kind of plan stuff and get everything organised, and that's kind of where I'm at. I've been watching a bit more TV lately than normal actually. I think it's something about those like colder months and we just sort of seem to hunker down a bit more. And instead of kind of sitting out in the gardens in the evening, we've been sort of coming in and putting the TV on. But there are two programmes that I feel like need like an honourable mention from me this month because I've been really loving them. One of them is The Marvellous Mrs. Maisels. Now, this has been around for a while. I watched the first series when the first series first went on Amazon Prime and I loved it. And then, I don't know if it's Amazon, I don't know about anyone else, but if you have Amazon Prime, I feel like the interface for Amazon Prime is just not as good as Netflix. And I don't feel like it reminds me that these things are on there. And I didn't even know that there'd been another, not one, but two series of Mrs. Maisels that I had missed. So I have had those to binge on. But if you have not seen The Marvellous Mrs. Maisels, I really think that you should. It's funny, it's clever, I think it's really unique. I've not kind of ever seen a programme like it and I really enjoy it. And the other programme that I have been loving, it's quite different, it's a documentary. I've been really enjoying The Imagineering Story, which is on Disney Plus. If you are a Disney addict like me, if you have ever been to a Disney park, if you just are a bit of a Disney obsessive like me, it is fascinating. It is all about the kind of history of Disney, specifically the Disney theme parks. I have just found it fascinating to watch, really. I'm lucky enough to have been to a few of the Disney parks and it has made me a little bit wanderlusty. It's made me desperately want to go to Disney at a time when obviously that's not going to be happening in a hurry. But it's just fascinating, like how at various different points it was just so close to things not happening. And yeah, just about how the Disney magic works. And I've been really enjoying it. And if you are a Disney nut, I would definitely recommend giving it a watch. Under the kind of eating banner, I couldn't really think of anything massively exciting that I'd been eating lately. But what I have been enjoying is fajitas. Now, we eat fajitas fairly regularly in this house. I'm a big fan, and so is Rich. My favourite kind of food genre, is that the right word? Like, my favourite food would be Mexican. If I could only eat one kind of food forever, it would be Mexican. I love Mexican food, and we've just been really enjoying fajitas lately. The recipe that we use, I think, is from the Chilango recipe book, which if you are into Mexican food as well, I would really highly recommend. But it's not the fajita recipe that we're using. I'm not 100% sure which recipe it is that we're using, but it's delicious and I like sitting down for fajitas, partly because fajitas is one of the very few meals we don't sit down and eat with our children. It's one that Rich and I will kind of eat in the evening. I mean, it's not a date night, it's just us eating our dinner a bit late, but we have a bit of time together to have a chat. We can kind of linger over our food a little bit more, which is ironic that I've just chosen to say I linger over it when I wolf my fajitas down like they might run away from me. I love fajitas. But yeah, I feel like I've talked enough about fajitas. Better move on. Moving on to drinks. Been drinking hot chocolate. We're back into hot chocolate season and I love a good hot chocolate. A good hot chocolate has to be Galaxy hot chocolate, just to be clear. But on a completely different topic, as somebody who doesn't massively drink very much alcohol wise, I bought some cocktail cans from Tiptree, Wilkins and Sons Jam Factory. It's quite local to us, the Jam Factory, and we go there quite a bit. They have really nice tea rooms and they do a really nice kind of range of kind of foods and drinks and stuff now, but they've started doing kind of pre-mixed canned drinks, kind of cocktaily drinks. There are a few different flavours, but last night for the first time I tried the strawberries and cream soda vodka. It was good. It was sweet. It was kind of like drinking strawberries and cream sweets, but it was very nice and I enjoyed that a lot. Going apart from on the school run, because we've been back on the school run a lot, I kind of forgotten how much of my day the school run takes up until I was back in it again. But we have also been to the coast. We went away for the weekend. It was Everly's birthday and obviously no parties for the girl who is birthday mad and like plans her birthday party for a whole year in advance, having to break the news to her that however much she tried to rein in these plan ideas, she just wasn't going to get any forward. Party was quite tricky. So we asked her what she'd like to do, and she said she would like to go to the caravan. Now my nan owns a static caravan at the seaside, and we've used it a couple of times for like little weekends away. It's been a really nice kind of place to just kind of go and escape, and she wanted to go there for her birthday weekend. So her birthday was on a Monday. Rubbish day to have a birthday, but we went away for the weekend before so that she could have a few days like of just family time all together. She completely lorded it up over the weekend and dictated what we did, where we went, what we ate, what we watched for the entire thing, which if you can't do that on your birthday trip, when can you? And it was really nice to sort of get some escape time and just be kind of away from the house and be together and just chill out. Buying birthday presents. This time of year is quite a busy one for me for birthdays. So Quinn and Rich both have their birthdays in the first half of October. Everly is in the second half of September. So we kind of have a very congested period of about three and a half weeks where like we have half of our family's birthdays all in one go. So it's all been kind of, I was buying presents for Everly, and now I've gone straight from Everly's birthday into planning Rich and Quinn's birthdays. So all that I'm buying at the moment is birthday presents. Loving, there's a few things I've been loving. As much as I am missing the kids being back at school, I am loving getting into a bit of a routine again. I'm loving the fact that they are so enthusiastic and are learning lots of lovely things and are happy to be back at school with their friends. That I am loving. But I'm also loving having my littlest boy to myself, because I feel like he got robbed of me for a few months there because it's just been so busy and so crazy. And he's a really good kid, and he will just happily entertain himself and play with toys and like keep himself busy. But it's been nice to have the time to spend the time with him, just him. And realise how much he's grown up and how much he's changed over the last few months, how chatty he is, how funny he is, how clever he is, all those sorts of things. It has been, I've been really loving having some just mummy and Wylder time. It's been really nice to be able to enjoy that guilt-free, knowing that the other three are busy and happy and entertained and challenged at school. I am mainly dreaming of summer while I listen to my creaky ceiling in the wind, and behind the camera is a window, and the other side of the window is a tree which I am literally watching get battered in the wind. I am never going to be one of those people that was like, oh, knitwear and candles and blankets and boots. No, that's not me. I don't embrace autumn. I hate autumn. I would just happily have it be summer. I miss the sunshine already. Yeah, I can't get on board with this cold, miserable, horrible weather. So I am dreaming of summer coming back and trying not to acknowledge the fact that it's going to be a long time yet before it's sunny. When I'm thinking about feeling this month, I feel like I'm a bit of a mixed bag. And I was thinking about this before I sat down to film, and I was going to say chilled. I do feel pretty chilled about stuff, but I also do feel a bit anxious about stuff. I'm also burying my head in the sand about stuff, because if I have learnt one thing during the whole lockdown, quarantine, COVID crazy of this year, it's that I get very anxious about stuff that I feel like might threaten in any way, shape or form my loved ones. I don't feel like that's unusual, to be honest, but I can get myself into quite a state quite quickly and get very anxious and very worried. So I'm trying to kind of let that go. So the feeling that I settled on is tired, but it's a very specific kind of tired. I feel very mentally tired. I think I forgot the emotional energy that is involved with having everybody back at schools and clubs and work, and having a lot of the responsibility for managing that fall on me. Remembering to read with everybody, remembering when the homework's due, remembering what day people have to take wellies into school because they have forest schools, remembering what days we have to remember to have specific kits so that they can go to the specific clubs that they go to on the specific days. And I don't think it would be out of line to say that that often falls to mothers. It falls to those kind of like main caregivers, and it's just a lot of mental energy. There's just a lot sometimes of my like mum job, there's just inside my head that I just know when it needs to get done and where people need to be and when. And I think I took for granted the kind of big period of time where I didn't have to worry about as much of that. I know it's very easy to look back on lockdown with rose-tinted spectacles and go, oh, it was a calmer time and a quieter time, because it wasn't always. Sometimes it was hell on earth and it was hard and there was shouting and it wasn't fun and it was all emotional. But a lot of that emotional energy of having to be organised about stuff wasn't there in the same way, because everybody was here and I knew where everybody was and we didn't need to go anywhere. So it's not so much that it's stressful, it's just that it's quite tired. I'm just finding that by the evenings I'm much more tired now the kids are all back at school and everything's going on again. It's just, yeah, like an emotional, mental, tired feeling from having to kind of remember everything again. My listening, I've chosen 2 different things because I'm going to go for a crime podcast because that's mainly what I talk about. And I have been listening to Somebody Knows Something. It is a crime podcast. I'm on to the 2nd series. I think there's, I want to say 5 series. There's a few more stories for me to get through. Each series covers in depth a kind of unsolved crime, and they go and kind of dig into it and they meet the various different people that were involved in the case. And I'm not gonna say any more about it because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who likes a good like crime story. Probably not the best one to listen to if you like a nice resolved ending, because they are unsolved crimes and I don't think it will spoil it for anybody to say these podcasts are not the magical things that solve the crime. But they're interesting to get into and interesting to listen to. For those people that are not in any way, shape or form interested in a crime podcast, I've also been listening to The Killers' new album, Imploding the Mirage. I love The Killers. I should have seen The Killers this summer and I didn't. I've seen them several times. I think if you were to put a gun to my head, I would tell you that they are my favourite band. I love them a lot. I mean, there's a lot of other bands I love too, but I love them a lot. And their new album came out recently and I've been listening to it a lot and I have been liking it a lot. And it's a good one to run to. So if you are a runner and you like to have some like upbeat tunes to run to, there's some really good ones on there for that, if that happens to be your bag. And finally, celebrating this month has been all about celebrating Everly. As I said, we took her away for the weekend because this girl loves a birthday, and the fact that she's being restricted to the rule of 6, which is just basically her family, for her birthday, it was really tough and I feel rotten for her. Right at the beginning of lockdown, I remember saying that at least the people whose birthdays were going to be affected were going to be mine and Wylder's. I'm big enough and ugly enough to deal with it, and Wylder is too little to know any different. But at that point I was like, by the time that like the bigger kids' birthdays come around, this will be all over. Not happening. Like Everly's birthday, Quinn is not going to get a party this year. I'm not entirely convinced that by February, when Dylan's birthday comes along, that things will look any different. So yeah, we had to find other ways to celebrate. We had that weekend away. We also took her out for dinner and I made her a massive balloon banner garland thing, and I made her like a donut cake. She doesn't actually like cake. She loves the pomp and ceremony of the singing bit, but she loves a donut. So if you stack the donuts up on a plate, put some candles in, perfect cake for people that don't like cake but do like donuts, and you don't have to cut stuff, and it's all pre-portioned and courtesy of Krispy Kreme, so delicious. It definitely wasn't the birthday that she would have planned for herself this year, but I feel like we gave her a good celebration anyway. Anyway, I've definitely prattled on for long enough. I feel like I've well and truly caught you up with where things are at for me and for us at the moment. I would love to know what you've been up to, so maybe pick one of those topics and let me know down in the comments what you've been eating or feeling, or where you've been going, or what you've been loving. I would like to get to know more about you. Thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today, and I will see you for another video really soon. Bye.